So what is 24 to double? Well, 24 to double is a step-by-step plan to double your average weekly attendance in just 24 months. 24 to double is a whole church discipleship model. We also refer to it as an inverse conference model. You know what I'm talking about. You go to the conference, you listen to some super pastor who's got it all put together and nothing ever fails for him, tell you how to run church. And then you go back to your church and try to figure out what the heck he was talking about and how you can implement 10% of that. Well, we flip that model on its head. Instead of bringing you to a conference and your team, we're bringing the conference to you. All 25 modules of 24 to double are delivered through our membership platform. Each month, you'll bring your team together, watch the module, and then take action. Each module contains the module video. We also have it at 2 times speed. Now, the other thing to know is each module is about 43 minutes long, so about an hour and 10 minutes, you can get a lot done in the way of putting systems together in your church. You're also going to get audio of the module as well as the presentations and handouts of all of the modules. It's important that you be able to engage with the information as you move through. You're going to learn how to build the 7 teams you need to grow your church. Here's what those teams are. Team number 1 is the outreach team. Pastor, just imagine if you had a highly qualified and skilled group of people and all they did was think about how to reach out in your community and bring people in for the first time. You got team number 2, which is the WOW team. Those are the people that are charged with the responsibility of making sure that people that come to your church for the first time say, wow, this is church. Team number 3 is shock and awe. Those are the people that deal with facilities, drama, dance, everything that goes into creating the right experience for people to be able to worship and engage with the message that you're going to bring to them. Team number 4 is the worship team. Now, one thing we don't do in 24 to double is we don't tell you how to do the style of worship that you're most comfortable with or that resonates with your people. What we will do is help you take that worship to the next level, whatever that might be. Team number 5 is a big one, the follow-up. We do so much to get people to our churches for the first time and then almost nothing to make sure that they come back. This team is going to focus on nothing but what happens after somebody comes for the first time, after they come for the second time, after they come for the third time. That person, those people on that team, their responsibility is one thing. That's to follow up and make sure that we make the most out of those invitations that the people in your church work so hard to make. Team number 6 is children. Can't say enough about children's ministry. If you don't have people that are focused on children's ministry in your church, let me tell you what's happening. Other churches that are doing children's ministry better than you are, if nothing else in their church is effective or efficient, chances are you're losing people, you're losing opportunities to reach those people and do effective ministry with them, because children's ministry is the lifeblood of any ministry. And team number 7 is small groups. Let me tell you this, Pastor. Most of the time when people come to your church for the first time, they are not coming to hear you preach. I know that's a shocker. They're also not coming to get to know Jesus for a lot of reasons. Sometimes people just want human connection with other people that are the same life stage. And that's what team number 7 does, is helps people get out of rows and into circles. You're also going to learn how to use spiritual gifts to build your teams. Now, this is a big deal. The cornerstone of what we do in 24 to double pivots around this idea called a spiritual gifts and passions test. This is an example of it. You're going to get access to the free version of this. It's about 27 questions, and what it does is it helps people understand who God created them to be, and it also lets you know, Pastor, what areas of ministry they're most passionate about serving in, and when we combine those things together, you find a holy matrimony of passionate volunteer ministry. If you don't hear me say anything else today, hear me say this. This is what's missing in most of our churches. Most of the time, we're just trying to shove people into the seats on the bus so that we can get our volunteering done and move on to the next thing. And we're totally missing the fact that 80% of people go to work every day and they hate their job. And we have a solution for them. We have a passionate volunteer position waiting for them. All we got to do is help them identify it and then move them into it. Because one thing we know is when volunteers are in the wrong seat and they burn out, they don't go backwards, they go away. You're also going to learn how to leverage big events to double your church. Now, most of you listening to this are doing 2 big events a year. You're doing Christmas and you're doing Easter. You and I both know a lot of the people that come to your church for the first time or come back that haven't been there since the last Christmas or Easter service, those people are not going to come the following week. Sometimes they're from out of town. Sometimes they're just buying fire insurance. You know how that is. We're going to teach you how to do 4 big events a year, not just Christmas and Easter, but 2 other events, because we know big events are the source of new people in your church. Everything in 24 to Double is delivered in the same way that you're consuming the content that we're on right now. We deliver all of it online. You can use it on demand, plan the meetings on your schedule. We also do a live monthly Q&A with Jerry Lawson, pastor at Daystar, as well as alumni that have been through the 24 to Double process. Here's the bottom line. We know that the most effective way to create momentum in your church, Pastor, hear me say this, the most effective way to create momentum in your church is with you leading the conversation with your team inside of your church. 24 to Double is also incredibly cost effective. Let me give you a rundown of how we got to where we are with this 24 to Double process online. Iteration number 1 was Dr. Owen Weston consulting live with Jerry and his team at Daystar. Jerry told me they were running about 500 people. Dr. Weston was charging about $3,500 a month plus his travel, and the total for that got to be about $5,000 per month. And let me tell you this, that $5,000 a month they invested in that was the best money that he spent. Absolutely worth that. But for a lot of churches, that's just not possible. So iteration number 2, Jerry went to Dr. Lawson and said, hey, how do we take this information and put it in such a way that more churches can benefit from it without the high cost? And also, how do we make it more scalable so we can teach a lot of churches at one time? And so what they did was 24 to Double Live. They did 24 events month after month for 24-month sequences, and they do a 24-month loop. And everybody listening to this is in the event business. We all have a big event that's coming on Sunday. You know, many of you are cringing going, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work to be able to do 24 live events. And it absolutely was. Plus, the cost of it was only $200 a month, but when you put in travel and hotel, eating, and travel, gas, that kind of things, we're looking at about $540 a month that pastors were spending month in, month out, which adds up to about $13,000 over 2 years. Still a great deal. In fact, it was almost a 90% reduction from the $5,000 a month, but still puts the training just a bit out of reach of a lot of churches. The average church in America just can't afford to spend $13,000 over the next 2 years on training. So iteration number 3, what we wanted to do is we wanted to be able to come back in and say, hey, can we do it again? Can we reduce by another 60, 70, or 80% to get that cost down where it's manageable for literally any church? And I'm glad to say that we were able to drop it another 81% and offer it to you for just $99 a month. But it even gets better than that. If you get involved in 24 to Double today, you can get all 25 modules for 15 days for the grand total of just $7. We're even going to send you an email after 12 days that says, get out, because Pastor, this is what we know for certain. We want pastors that are either all the way in or they're out. We're not looking to just get you into this program. We are trying to keep the church alive in America by putting some quality training out there that's going to help you build the systems to grow your church. And all you got to do to start that process is click the button below and get started. Now, let me tell you what our promises to you are. First promise is this: 60-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. You can kick the tires on 24 to Double for 60 days. After that period of time, you'll be charged a couple of times. We will gladly refund your money. If you call us back up and say, we think you guys smell funny, we'll give you your money back. The other promise is this. Now, this is the some questions asked promise. If you implement 24 to Double in the next 24 months and you're not satisfied with the results, we'll refund your entire investment, Pastor. That's right. We will give you every bit of your money back. Now, let me tell you this, one caveat to this. We've been doing this about 4.5 years so far. Not only have we not refunded anybody's money after the 24 months, we've not even had anybody ask. Every single person, every single church that has engaged this process has seen significant results. Our last promise is this: there's no contracts you can cancel anytime. We're not going to hold you to it because we want you using this to impact people and reach people who are far from Christ in your community. Let me talk about who 24 to Double absolutely is for. It's for the Gap pastor. No, I'm not talking about pastors that shop at the Gap. I'm talking about pastors that know that there's a gap between the ministry you are called to and the one that you're experiencing, and they're ready to do something about it. It's for the pastor that's tried everything else. I know there's a million different ways to do things out there. There's a million different people teaching church growth systems. We get all that. So let me just tell you this. I'm going to peel the cover right now just so you'll know what our secret sauce is. Our secret sauce is helping you refuse to do it all and partner with people in your church to reach lost people. This system is a whole church discipleship model because we are encouraging you and forcing you to engage people in the process of discipleship. And all you've got to do, Pastor, to get started is click the button below. Now, let me talk to you about a couple of different bonuses we're going to throw at you if you get started today. We're actually going to give you 8 sermon series notes. Jerry is incredible at sermon preparation. He might have 8 to 10 to 13 pages of notes for every sermon. You're going to get those notes from 8 different sermon series as well as his stage notes, which is a massive amount of information. You've got the 30 Days to Live, Got Junk, Crazy Love, Misfortune Cookies, Warrior Generosity, and there's a few others. Bonus number 2 is you're going to get the free version of our volunteer gifts and passions test. Again, this is the cornerstone of what we do with 24toDouble. It helps us really understand who the people in our church are and where they fit on those teams. You're going to get access to that for free. Bonus number 3 is we're going to throw a few labs at you. The first one is the worship lab. Again, we're not going to teach you how to do the style of worship. We're just going to help teach you how to take your worship to the next level. You're also going to get a bonus lab, the church facelift lab. One of the things that Daystar has done a great job over the years is pinching a penny and figuring out how to create unbelievable environments on a tight budget. We're going to teach you how to do that in this lab. And then the last lab is the Pastor's Breakfast Lab. In this lab, we're going to walk you through how to use the Gifts and Passions test and how to use this environment to get people to go from rows into small groups and from rows into volunteer positions in your church. So go ahead and click the button now and get started. Now, the last thing I want you to know about is this. We understand that we would be asking you a crazy ask right now if we were saying, hey, we want you to commit to doing something for 24 months. That's not what I'm asking. All I'm asking you to do is to call a meeting. In fact, we know that you need to have a meeting to engage this process. So what we did was we went out and created a team meeting agenda for you. So this is the agenda along with the investment schedule and team handouts, as well as a video with Jerry spending about 10 or 12 minutes talking to you and your team about the 24toDouble process. We wanted to take the weight of explaining this to other people off of you, put it squarely on our shoulders so you can make a good decision about 24toDouble. So let me give you a quick rundown of everything you're going to get if you sign up today. Number 1, you're going to get the 25 modules of 24toDouble, where we teach you how to do the Gifts and Passions test, build all those teams, reinforce those teams, and staff those teams with staff and volunteers. Secondly, you're going to get the 8 free sermon series I mentioned a moment ago. You're also going to get the free version of the Gifts and Passions survey. You're going to get live monthly Q&As with Jerry, myself, and then alumni of 24toDouble. And then you're going to get all the bonus modules that we mentioned, the one on the facelift for your church, the one on worship, and the one on the pastor's breakfast. But more importantly, what you're going to get is a scalable model for reaching people who are far from Christ, but right outside the doors of your church. And you can get access to everything I've talked about, all 25 modules of 24toDouble, plus all the bonus information for just $7. And all you got to do is click the button below to get started.